My fellow Liberians, Liberians in Liberia and Liberians out of Liberia, wherever you are in the United States of America, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, in Africa, this message is for you. I'm not calling on the Americans, neither am I calling on the Chinese, nor the Russians, nor the Hispanics. I'm calling on all Liberians, wherever you are. Because today is when you decide to be a Liberian. Today is when you choose to stand as a Liberian or to stand against Liberia. If there has ever been a time that Liberia needed Liberians, it's now. Few years ago, Liberia struggled with the issue of war. Our people were killed. Children lost their parents, and parents lost their children. Children became soldiers, pick up arms, and destroy one another. We blame one man, the former President Charles Taylor, who is now currently residing in The Hague, for the crime committed against humanity. Ask yourself the question, was it the issue of Taylor or was it the issue of Liberians? Can one man destroy a nation? Did he do it all alone? Today is the day that we stop blaming our misfortune on others and focus on being just a Liberian. I'm not asking you to be more than a Liberian, because you can. I'm in the United States of America. I have seen Liberians in the United States of America. I'm also seeing you on Facebook, on social media, Instagram. And the picture that I see is not the picture of Liberia. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, Liberians are no longer representing Liberia. We used to be a people of love, a people that care about each other. And you want to know this truth? Remember when you were in Liberia and you decided to cook a meal and salt was not in your kitchen, neither was cube. You could call on your neighbors and they will assist you. Today, that is gone. Today, we are far from being a Liberian. That's why I'm here today. I believe that Liberia is still in you, but you are allowing the influence of the Western world to get the better hand of you. The Western world cannot build Liberia, neither can they build Africa. If you are black, you belong to the black continent. And the last time I checked, the only black continent that exists on planet Earth was Africa. So it means that if you are black, you belong to Africa. Whether you are half black or whole black, you belong to Africa. And Africa needs you. But for today, I'm not speaking about all of Africa. I just want to speak to my fellow Liberians. You may wonder, what is the urge of this message? What caused this message? The truth is, God has given me something that I think I should share with you. God has placed in my heart the desire of unity. He has given me the spirit of unity. And over the years, I have come to understand that the only thing that is keeping Africa, preferably Liberia, from standing is unity. Liberia, we are not united. Liberians are not united. Look around the world. Follow your comments and the comments of your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitters. But since the majority of you communicate on Facebook, follow your discussion on Facebook. Look at the discussion in Discussing Liberia. Look at the discussions in the various groups that Liberia possess on Facebook. See the chaos. It's more than war. It's more than taking guns against your brother. When you know nothing about the next person and you judge them, it is worse than killing them. And that is not unity, Liberians. That is not unity. We don't need that in Liberia. Some of us left Liberia for a while. Some of you left Liberia when you were a child. Some of you were not even born in Liberia. And to be honest with you, some of you have never been to Liberia. And people in Liberia are trying to be Liberia, but they can't because people that are not in Liberia who refuse to be Liberians are having influence on them. Why? Because people in Liberia and in Africa in general believe that once you hit the soil of the United States, you are close to heaven and everything is well with you. Brothers and sisters, before God whom I stand and before you, Liberia is preferred over America. You can sleep in your house in Liberia in peace of mind. If you work or are working and you earn whatever it is that you are earning, you are able to control your life based on your expense of your work or the income based on the income of your work. You are able to save if you are a saving-minded person. You are able to help your neighbor. It's not in America as it is in Africa and Liberia. In the US, you pay rent. And when I say rent, I mean high rent. In the US, you pay electricity. In the US, you pay car notes. If you have a car note to pay. Because some of you that lives in the US and in other parts of the Western world, you refuse to live based on your means. So you take huge car notes and you have to make those payments. In the US, you have to be careful with whatever you say on the phone because your phone conversations are monitored day and night. In the US, you are afraid to discipline your child or your children if you have more because you are afraid that the government might take your children away from you. In the US, the children make the law in the schools and in the homes. Why? Because if the elderly person touches the children, you are automatically wrong. There is no if and there is no and. In the US, you have a hierarchy of orders. Number one, animals is preferred over human. Alright, you may not understand that. Ask yourself, those of you that have pets in your houses, those of you that are in the US now, If you have a dog and it is snowing and the snow is heavy and you don't even want to get up to come outside, guess what? That dog have to go for a walk. Even if you don't have medical insurance and your kids doesn't, your pet needs insurance and it needs to see the doctor at a certain point in time. Otherwise, they will arrest you for animal cruelty. The second in line is children. Children are the next priority when it comes to the system, in which the children makes the rules. You can spank your child, and if you spank your child and your child pick up the phone and call 911, guess what? You are in trouble. Next in line are the elderly. Well, that should be, the elderly should be given respect. But it doesn't matter if they are wrong or right or not. Once they are offended by you, you are automatically wrong. Except in some instances, you are proven not wrong or not guilty. Next are women. Men, never lay a finger on a woman. I don't care how bad she may be. If you are in the U.S., I don't know about Europe, I don't know about Asia, Australia, but I know about the US. If the woman hits you and she starts to cry, even though she did the hitting, and she called the cops, she died 911 and they comes and she said, you put your hand on her, guess what? The truth will come out, but it will meet you behind bars. Men are the least. And blacks, I think that should be enough. Just to stop the black. You know what I mean. If you are black, it's a crime automatically. So then ask yourself, is it going to be the US, Asia, Europe, Australia, or is it going to be Liberia? Are you going to be Liberians? Look at our girls on social medias. Look how they dress. They strip themselves almost naked. They watch these movies and see these people that has no culture doing what they do best to entertain for the fun, for the act of making money, and they go and start to dress in the same thing that these people are using. They have thrown away their culture. Well, we don't blame all of you, because why? Not every one of you were born in Liberia or was brought up in Liberia or in Africa, so you might not have a culture. But ask yourself, where are you from originally? What things do the people do? What are their way of life? Is it what you are doing? And if your answer is no, stop and be a Liberian. Today we talk about the political system in Liberia. Can I let you know something? The system in Liberia is by the grace of God we're going to make it. It takes Liberians to be Liberians to make Liberia a better place for Liberians. You don't have to fight the government to make change. We know in Africa, the government, the president preferably has the ultimate power, no matter what kinds of legislature is in power or legislative system is in process. But the president, when it comes down to action, the president in Africa has the final say. And all we can think about is to get rid of the president and get rid of the government. No, that doesn't work. What works is that you as a Liberian, you have seen the problem, the corrupt system in the country, in the government. The government is so corrupt that even it makes you sick at some point in time. And if that is the case, then you need to learn something, get into the system and start to make changes. But the dying part about it that hurts me a whole lot to see Liberians treat Liberia this way is that the same Liberians that sees the problem travel out of Liberia, learn, go back to Liberia and are worse than the people that are there. And all they do is to go back and say, I'm here to make the change. You are not making any change. If the government before you were $1 million corrupt and your government is $2 million corrupt, what change have you made to benefit Liberia? So for all of you that are in the US, that are abroad in the Western world, in Western countries, and you are learning, I want you to make up your mind as you learn to be a Liberian. That's all it takes. I heard a lot of people during the time of past election, they were talking about George Weah, and a lot of people made some good statement about him. I'm not here to preach politics. I'm here to tell you what I feel, that why we should be Liberians. This young man has been a footballer all his life, made all his money from football, and decide to enter the political race for whatever reasons. I think we should know by now. He believed that he can change Liberia. We all do believe that we can change Liberia. But is it for the best or for the worst? However, he believed that he can change Liberia positively. And on a personal note, I do believe he has what it takes. If you Liberian complain that that man was uneducated, and to prove to you that he means what he said to make Liberia is a better place by looking at your comments and yielding to your comments and going away and going to school and acquiring a degree level of education so that he can serve you, and if that is not good enough, I don't know what else you're looking for. We talk about education. What has education done for Liberia? I usually tell people when I'm in conversation with them, it's not education that develops a nation. It's not education that takes you from point A to point B. Education prepares you for the challenges between point A to point B. To some extent, it prepares you. But education does not develop Liberia. It cannot develop any nation. I have never seen a nation that has been developed because the president or the leader of that nation was educated. I have never. And if you have seen some, please enlighten us. I would love to know. It takes heart. It takes love. It takes the spirit of unity. It takes hearing. You hear the cry of the nation. You hear the cry of the people. It takes sight. You see the problem. And it takes action. And that you go against all odds to make sure that the cry that you are hearing, the pains that you are seeing in the nation comes to an end. It takes love. And Liberia will be developed, will graduate from its stage of poverty by one thing only: love. So you can choose to put in power education, or you can choose to put in power love. I'm not telling you that I've seen a politician in Liberia that has love. No, I'm not telling you that I've seen them, because why? I'm not in Liberia. I communicate to Liberia all the time. However, I'm not there. So I can't tell you I've seen this candidate that has love, or this politician that has love for Liberia. No, I cannot tell you that. That has to be done with each individual Liberian who are seeing the things that are on ground to make a sound decision. Because can I let you know something? That no matter how educated a person is, if they do not love the nation, they will not develop the nation. Now, what love has to do with this? Let me ask you, how many of you are married or are in a relationship? And your spouse is making all the money in the world. He or she has a good paying job. They bring in everything, almost everything you need, they has it available for you. But they don't love you. In that while you are sleeping, they are out there with somebody else. Or while you are in the kitchen, they are on the phone with somebody else. Or while you are sleeping in bed, they are texting somebody else. With all the incomes that they bring to you, it does not satisfy you. It still brings pains and tears to your eyes. So if lack of love cannot make the home right, why do you think that lack of love can make the nation right? So for this once, I'm pleading on you. Be a Liberian of love. Hear the cry of your neighbors. Respond to it. That's where we start. We start from the home. One of my co-workers that we're in the same organization together, Lua, in Idaho, he said the problem of Liberia starts with the home. And his name is Mr. Double Collie. He said the problem of Liberia starts with the home. He said if the home is not united, the community will not be united. If the community is not united, the county will not be united, or the district will not be united, and the counties will not be united. And if the county is not united, the country cannot be united. And if the country is not united, the country cannot develop. And I must commend him. That is true. That's why we need to start with the home. You don't have to be rich to help your brother wipe the tears from his eyes, or your sister carry her load when her burden is heavy. You just have to be a Liberian of love. That's it. That's all it requires. And whatever nationality you are and you are listening to this message, know that the progress of development in your nation starts with you. Starts with each individual family members who has purpose in their heart to make a change for the better. When mothers going hungry because they want their children to eat, that is love. When father cannot rest until food are placed on the table, that is love, my brothers and sisters. When a wife has to hang in with the husband and stays with him and pray with him day and night, even though he's out of job, or pray until God opens the windows of heaven and blesses them, that is love. And when Liberians decide that they will go against all odds to make sure Liberia gets what it needs to develop, that, my brothers and sisters, is love. Today, I'm pleading and I'm calling on you, on all Liberians, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, stop and be a Liberian. God bless you. And until we meet in Liberia, to build Liberia for a better future for our children and our children's children, may the God of heaven, the creator of all things, bless you, guide you, give you the spirit of love. God bless you. And God bless Liberia. Thank you.